Having a bad childhood doesn't excuse you for being a bad adult. More people need to hear this. Epictetus, who was a slave, famous philosopher, has a quote where he says, "Circumstances don't make a man, they merely expose who he is." What this quote means is that you're not a product of your environment, but rather yourself. You can conquer yourself. Your trauma explains you, but it doesn't excuse you. Okay? A hard childhood, it can explain patterns why you act the way you do, the fears that you have. But explanation isn't the same as permission to hurt others and also avoid growth. Or in my case, the one that I've seen a lot in other people is, they're using it to just justify not acting like a good person, or, not doing anything with their life. Well, I haven't done anything and I haven't gotten where I want to be because I, have all this trauma, or I grew up in an oppressive household, or whatever it is. At some point, responsibility transfers over to you, okay? You didn't choose your childhood, it's true, but you do choose how you show up as an adult every day. You make yourself every day. You choose the behavior that you display on a day-to-day basis. Healing essentially becomes your job. I mean, that's just the truth. It's your life. Even if the damage wasn't your fault, guess what? You're still the one that has to sit with it. So there's something you got to do about it. Unhealed pain doesn't disappear. If there's anything that you'll learn from a psychology book, it's that it leaks. If it's not addressed, it will only get worse. When trauma is not confronted, it will start to show up as avoidance. It will start to show up as anger, among many other things. Emotional immaturity, addiction, whatever it is, it shows in different forms in different people. But everyone around you ends up paying for the sins that you have failed to address, because you haven't been able to process your past. It is affecting your future. Don't let that be you. Repeating the cycle, it's easier than breaking it. That's just the truth. It's comfortable to stay familiar even in chaos. That's how our brain is designed. Our brain is designed to adhere to what is normal. It's called the hedonic treadmill, and sort of find a way to, live in this sort of realm of normal. And so that's why these cycles are very hard to break, and our nervous system gets used to these type of things controlling our lives, or a certain mentality, or certain triggers. But it's up to you to break that, okay? Growth requires discomfort. That's the reality. Even if you don't have trauma, it's still going to require discomfort. The biggest thing, though, is it takes accountability. That's what our world today hates, is accountability. There's nothing more repulsive than the truth and accountability, myself included. There are so many things in my life that I haven't taken accountability for, and it starts to eat at you. You'll see it. You have to face these things rather than ignore them, because they'll start to eat you alive. Being self-aware isn't the same as changing. Just because you know it to be true doesn't mean anything is actually going to be different in terms of the outputs into the world. When you start to say, "Oh, I'm like this because of my past," that means nothing, because behavior isn't improving. Awareness without action is simply another excuse, okay? It doesn't go anywhere. The last thing I want to say, becoming better, it's how you reclaim your power. It's almost like a video game. It's the hero's journey, okay? You have hardships in life, but that's what is allowing you to build character. You have to look at it in the perspective of, "Oh, I'm going to become a better person." So although the trauma was bad and ideally you wouldn't want it to happen to you, it did happen to you. Your bad childhood did happen to you. And so now you should use that as a sort of means to improve your life. Think of it as an opportunity. Yeah, it sucked. I'm not saying that it wasn't a bad thing. I'm just saying you have two possible choices. You can either look at it like, oh, look at me, I'm so oppressed, and oh, I don't want to admit that at the end of the day it's still up to me to change my life. Oh, or you could look at it like, this bad thing happened to me, but I'm still in charge of my life and I want to move forward. That's what the Stoics would say. Healing isn't about proving anything to your parents or siblings or past. It's about refusing to let old wounds control your future. You need to take the wheel. You need to start driving the car for yourself. Because if you're 30 years old now and you haven't addressed it, what even if you're in your 20s, like, let's be honest, like, you got to move forward. Those are my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching.